So we're just going to go through some examples of portfolio sites we think do a really good job of representing who these people are and the type of work they want to do. So the first is Jen Musari, who is a Working Not Working member. She's a letterer and designer, and she's a total badass. You get to her site here, you obviously see the type of work that she does. She has really huge screen grabs and thumbnails of the work she does, so lettering on motorcycles. You can see that without even having to click into the project. And then when you scroll through, you just really get a sense of who she is and the type of work she does. So all hand-done lettering, all a lot of it beautiful, a lot of it others aggressive, but all of it has a real sense of a point of view and style.
Now, this works for her because she's an illustrator and a designer. So knowing your medium and what platform and the way you display it, making sure that those go together. I couldn't have a portfolio like this, but right. I'm glad that she does, and she recognized that. And imagine if she had text links. That would be tragic.
Well, and it'd do her such a disservice, because I can go and I come to her site and I'm like, oh my God, I want to work with her. Yeah. And that's what you want. You want someone to come to your portfolio site and say, this person's amazing, I want to hire them. So whatever you can do to put your work out there front and center is only going to benefit you. Also, we have Loda Nieminen, and she's an amazing illustrator and designer, and she does a really great job on her site. One, it's beautifully designed, and still has big images, but in a different way than Jen's. Hers is all images. Loda has the titles of her projects and a little brief description. So she has paint box, branding for a New York-based manicure studio. So you get a sense of what she had to do with this project just by looking at the thumbnails, and then you can click in to see them more.
She also picked, again, going back to making sure that the way you display your work reflects the work that you're doing. She picked a style of presentation that looks like her work. It's clean, it's simple, refined, modern, elegant.
Yeah, really consistent color palette. Like everything when you're scrolling through here all feels like it goes together, which is great, and it's just really aesthetically pleasing. And then you're like, all right, this is all of her design stuff. Let me check out her illustration. And you click on that, and it's a really cool site. It shows you all that, and then you can click through, and her illustration, still feels of her brand, but then it's all very different from her design work, which was more branding based. And this is all really fun, cool illustrations of people and environments.
I think if you do multiple things, which so many of our members do, mm-hmm. I guess what do we call it, like the slash, sort of the multi-hyphenate person, which Lota is. Figuring out a way to express that so it's not overwhelming or confusing. So sort of compartmentalizing, each of these roles that you played. Yeah. So she has illustration, graphic design. So it's not just like one long,
And we do sometimes see people get carried away with that. Some people try to claim that they're a jack of all trades, but almost in an obnoxious way. Yes, I'm a designer and an illustrator, photographer, or illustrator, sure. But then other people are like, yeah, I'm a photographer, and they put up 20 iPhone photos. Well, maybe you're not actually a photographer, and people aren't going to come to you for photography. So don't try to claim to be everything. Just put forward your best work, and it goes back to the editing. And I think sometimes people just get carried away, well, yeah, I can also write, and I can do this, and I can do that, and that. Yeah, maybe you can, but maybe pick your 3 best things.
Or just put it in its place. So say, right. Here's the work that I'm known for. Yeah. But I have a passion for photography. Here's a link to my Instagram. Or your writing is on a blog. Absolutely have a link to it and mention it. I mean, that's crucial. Yeah. It's just knowing what the focus should be of your website.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well played.
So what's awesome about her website is she's a producer. So this is a role that we represent on Working Not Working. But obviously she's up against a different, set of challenges that a visual designer doesn't necessarily have when they're putting together their site. Her personal logo, or whatever that flashing gold tooth is amazing.
It's a smile, but it makes me smile. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And also, that's a huge part of being a producer is, the energy and the attitude and the personality that you bring to your job.
Yeah, to make shit happen. Yeah.
We get it from this.
She also, her About Me, there's something really fun in here. So she has a really nicely written About Me bio, but then at the bottom here it says, has this photo of this guy who's kind of, looks like from the 70s or 80s, and it says, below is a photo of my dad, took at a sailboat race in the 80s. This guy has the expression that generally sums up how I feel about my job.
Don't you want to hire her now?
I want to hire her.
So I like personally speaking, I think the websites that we love, there's something unexpected to them also, just because imagining these, managers, they're going through hundreds and thousands of portfolios, like making them laugh or making them pay attention is really important.
And we're rewarding people for paying attention. So if someone's digging deep on your site and you put like a little like surprise link or a GIF or something that delights people, that goes a long way and it's thoughtful. And I think that's one thing when you're putting your portfolio together is to be thoughtful about the person who's going to be looking at it. Pavel Nobert. His site is actually done on Semplice, Tobias's platform. Again, really big images, and for him, his work is really bright and bold and colorful, and he shows that off, and you get that immediately. So really, really clear about what he does. And then Rodney White is an art director and a designer and an artist on the site, and he's a guy who worked in advertising, but then he also does paintings on the side, and his paintings have shown up basically like in TV shows everywhere, TV shows and movies. He's done collaborations, and he's an advertising art director, but he does collaborations with brands. He's done it with Converse and Bloomingdale's, and he'll do live painting on sneakers, on Sperry topsiders, and on Converse shoes, and Havaianas. And then he also, his stuff is showing up in these background images on all these different TV shows and movies, which is really fun. But it's a side project that he did doing these paintings, and he ended up making a big career out of it on the side, during the nights and weekends. Yeah. And we also love it on his about page. Up top he says, "I'm an ACD art director, designer, artist, husband, father. The first time I was ever on a plane, I jumped out."
I want to know more. I mean, I think that's also great is, yes, laying your work out there, expressing who you are, but leaving a little bit of room for imagination, because, the goal of this is to have somebody call you and say, tell me about yourself.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
All right, so if you don't have a portfolio site yet, hop on Squarespace and start one. You can make a really simple cover page, just saying who you are and get it going. And if you already do have a portfolio site, go through and make sure you're following some of these tips that we gave you on making it really simple to navigate, making sure there's no typos, and if you have to, send it to some of your friends and get their feedback on it to make sure they can understand everything that's going on and make sure they don't spot any errors.
Yeah, I think sharing it is the biggest thing you can do because, you've worked really hard, but you're also really close to yourself. And ask specific questions when you're soliciting feedback. So not just, do you like my portfolio, but specifically, did you find typos? Was it clear? Was it simple to use? Does my about page express who I am?
So post your portfolio up there, get some feedback, and give your fellow classmates some feedback, and help each other make your portfolios as great as they can be.